What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're going to jump in and preview a bunch of changes which are coming to Destiny 2 in Season 22. And so, of course, firstly, this will be a pretty important season for the game, and as always, Bungie have outlined a series of changes that they plan to bring alongside the new content. And so, in this video, we'll cover what we know about updates to existing content in the game, as well as new playlists being brought online, quality of life changes, new upgrades, and as always, we can expect to see a bunch of Sandbox changes which span across weapon tuning, abilities, and exotic reworks. So we'll kind of round out what we can expect to see from the game starting in August. And if you guys enjoyed the video today, then please do drop us a rating down below as it really helps out the channel enormously. But otherwise, let's get into it. And so the first thing we should say, much like what we saw last year, for Season 22, it will be launching pretty much immediately after a showcase for the final shape. So that'll be held on the 22nd of August 2023. And what we've seen in the past is Bungie reveal, of course, the upcoming expansion, a bunch of changes for the game, but also the season that's about to go live. And so pretty much as soon as we've seen that showcase, the brand new season will kick off. And as a lot of players will discuss, this will be a very important moment for Destiny 2. Players are hoping to see a whole bunch of different changes introduced to the game, but also Bungie will be revealing the final major expansion in the Light and Darkness saga, so we can certainly expect August 22nd to be a very busy day. But getting into content and changes specifically for Season 22, firstly, we do know that we're going to see another reprised raid for the game. And Bungie had generally indicated in the past that they'll be working on bringing back raids from Destiny 1, so as far as the community is concerned, Wrath of the Machine is certainly the favourite raid to come back. And hopefully we'll get some clarification about what that raid will be during the showcase. There is, however, speculation from the community that it could be a reprised Destiny 2 raid, which I think certainly wouldn't bring the same level of excitement, but give us your thoughts down below. Another big quality of life upgrade for Season 22, though, will be the introduction of an exotic mission rotator. So this will be a new playlist, where different exotic missions from various seasons will be featured on a weekly basis. So Bungie have said it will contain exotic missions from Season 13, 16, and 19, namely those are Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield. And I'm sure Bungie will be updating the rewards. Potentially, they might even add some new items that we can pick up inside of that playlist. And presumably we'd get pinnacle drops there as well, so that'll be a new element for us to revisit on a weekly basis starting in Season 22. We should add though, with things like this and the reprised raid, Bungie had originally said that they were hoping to bring the in-game LFG experience to the game for Season 22, but it's worth noting that that has been pushed back until Season 23. Moving on, we don't know a whole bunch about changes coming to PvP, other than that we can expect some updates for competitive, and most specifically that'll be reward updates, so potentially a new weapon, but other things like emblems and cosmetic items. And on top of that, we'll also see the introduction of a brand new PvP map for the first time in at least a couple of years. And so this will be a new Vex Network PvP map, which is certainly a different kind of environment. And it'll be cool to get at least a little bit of new real estate for the Crucible, but otherwise for additional Crucible changes, I'll have to keep you guys posted. Next up though, a potential update for Season 22 includes weapon level boosting. And Bungie have said they're working on a new weapon mod that'll be added to increase the level of a crafted or enhanced weapon for the cost of standard currencies. And this won't be the only method for leveling up a weapon, but it's designed to be a convenient method for unlocking early perk choices. And they've said that they're hoping to add this behavior sometime after Season 21, so potentially that's something we could see with Season 22. And that does lead us into Sandbox changes that Bungie have planned. So firstly, for ability stuff, they've said for Season 22, they plan to reduce the Tangle cooldown time from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. So those will be slightly more readily available. And also on the subject of Strand, they've said that they believe Suspend is currently too strong in PvE. And so in Season 22, they'll be implementing a sizable increase in threadling damage against PvE targets, but also reducing the duration and uptime of Suspend sources in the game in general. And so for threadlings in higher level PvE, the goal is that they'll feel a little bit less weak, but Suspend will certainly take a hit in the process. But Bungie have added that they plan to make a change to the Broodweaver's newest Strand aspect from Season 21, which is called the Wanderer, to address community feedback regarding its potency. We don't know what that change will be, but we should at least be looking at a slight improvement to the Wanderer starting in Season 22. On top of that, Bungie have indicated that they're making some small adjustments to the uptime of a few underperforming grenade options next season. Again, we don't have specifics on what those changes will be, but they'll essentially be focusing on improving some of the lesser used grenades in the game. Another change that'll quite possibly be introduced for Season 22 though, includes some updates for hand cannons. So they say they're increasing the reload speed at 0 stat by 15%, and the benefit of that will scale down at increasing the stat. So the idea is to improve hand cannons that have a lower reload stat to essentially speed them up a little bit. But additionally, they plan to increase damage against minor enemies from hand cannons by 20%, and also for PvE, they're increasing damage against mages by 75%, so hand cannons could potentially be a bit more potent and generally usable in higher end PvE content. They're also introducing an update for a certain archetype of hand cannon, and this will come in the form of heavy burst hand cannons. So they say they've updated the Warden's Law legendary hand cannon to be the first member of a new subfamily, and the heavy burst hand cannon will fire 2-round bursts, and they say it's overall going to be more satisfying to use than the original version. And that means we can expect to see more hand cannons in that archetype for a start, but also it probably means that the updated Warden's Law will possibly return as a Nightfall weapon at some point in the future. And then finally right here for exotics, they have said that they have a small set of changes coming to exotic weapons in Season 22, and that will include a PvP nerf to the Le Monarch bow, but also a buff for Touch of Malice, and a couple of minor changes to other exotics. Then in addition to that, for weapons, they say they want to update a couple of legendary perks, so they're looking at things like Bipod, Shoot to Loot, and Under Over. And additionally, there'll be a Zoom to Damage Fall-Off normalization update and a Sword Guard rework coming in Season 22, and both of those changes will affect exotic weapons. In addition to that though, they've said they're making an exotic catalyst for an older weapon for Season 22, and this is one that's been heavily requested, but is also one of the most complicated catalysts that they've ever produced. And previously, they had alluded to working on an actual bayonet for the Monte Carlo, which would give it an almost glaive-like function. So we know that's something Bungie have been working on for a little while, and given the complexity of the catalyst, it's quite possible that Monte Carlo is the weapon that will get the update next season. Although of course there are other exotic weapons that may potentially get an update, so give us your thoughts down below, and any preferences you'd have for upcoming catalysts. Either way, it should be an interesting one, but very finally, they've also said that there should be an exotic armor balance patch to a series of exotics coming in Season 22 as well, so they'll be touching a handful of weapons as well as exotics, and that's on top of changes to legendaries, the ability tuning, and I'm sure plenty of other Sandbox updates that we'll see starting on the 22nd of August. For today though guys, those are all the changes that we have confirmed for Season 22, so let us know what you think about them down below, any that you're really looking forward to, or perhaps not looking forward to so much, as well as any changes that you're hoping to see, or speculation about the potential theme for the new season. I agree though with the reception around the game at the moment, community sentiment, and concerns about the future of Destiny, Season 22 will definitely be important, and even more important than that will be what they show to us for the final shape, and their plans for the game beyond that expansion. As I mentioned before, it will certainly be a very important day for the future of Destiny, so I'll be keeping you posted on all of that stuff, but if you've enjoyed the video today, a rating below really does help us out, and if you want to be kept up to date with everything related to the game, be sure to get subscribed and turn on notifications so I can keep you posted. Otherwise though, thank you for watching today guys, and whatever you get up to. I hope you have an awesome day.